Hey dumplings, it's Dave Decide. Today I want to get into Taehyung and an issue involving Korean fans and what people have been speculating is Taehyung's breaking a rule, but also I wanted to get into a previous moment that is being talked about where BTS albums were being burned and how serious that is. So hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on, grab your dumpling, a teaspoon of merch, and let's get into it. The first thing that I wanted to get into is this album burning, and let me just back up and talk about how we got here. I think we are getting to a point where it is difficult to know what to do in the world, especially if you're not living in the top developed countries. It can be difficult to understand what is allowed and what isn't, and other developed countries often like to take over or invade at any point. We are experiencing this issue with Ukraine and Russia and just the gravity of that situation. I don't know if anyone from those areas are watching, but I am praying for you guys, and please update us on your situation. I hate going by the news with this type of stuff because it's never accurate and it doesn't show what the actual people are going through. Only about a week or so before the attack, it was J-Hope's birthday, and Ukraine BTS fans decided to put up posters and billboards all over Ukraine train system and anywhere they could buy a billboard. This is nothing new. We know armies do this, but it was very surreal to see the photos of J-Hope right there as everyone was on the ground crying or trying to run away. It also seemed like a waste of effort since everyone is evacuating the area. Of course, these are one of many moments where it seems like politics get in the way of what is supposed to be some happy moments for the Ukraine BTS army. There was another moment a little while ago that was being talked about as well, since it was also a moment that was spoiled by politics. I won't get into the specific political stuff, mainly because I don't really understand it, but also I don't want to get it wrong or take sides in a situation I know very little about. Over in Afghanistan, there was, or maybe still ongoing, the Taliban takeover. So another group of people have kind of come in to try to take over the area, and of course the people in Afghanistan have to now follow some of the Taliban rules. And some of the rules are very, let's say, strict on what you can and can't do. Now, a lot of this is based on the American news. If you have a different experience, let me know. But it was reported in the news that in the area of Afghanistan, there was a lot of BTS merch and representation for armies over there. But when the Taliban took over, a lot of the BTS army had to hide or even burn their BTS albums and photos, and it was only allowed to have Taliban music consistently playing really loudly on the street, that even if they had BTS music in their home, they couldn't even really hear it. And apparently the Taliban didn't allow people to listen to mainstream music, and it was reported by some people that they weren't even allowed to look outside the window. So people locked themselves at home, and if you were caught listening to BTS, you'd have to get rid of it, so people just kept the music and posters hidden in a closet or under their bed so as to not have it be seen. This is of course very sad to hear, as music, especially BTS's songs, are made in a way to allow us to escape and put ourselves in an environment that is going to allow us to escape a bad situation. And it's amazing that music has done that for so many people, given how bad the situation in several countries have been. And we also have a worldwide issue of a disease. But I hope the situation has gotten better over there and people can listen to whatever they want over there. I am praying the world goes back to normal, and I mean really back to normal, because even without the pandemic, there is so much going on that I just don't know. Like, can we have one problem at a time? I do wonder if a lot of the insanity that is happening is due to the pandemic and people of higher power feeling like they need to make noise or make a statement because they have to. I don't know. But I'm curious to hear if you have been experiencing this firsthand and what your experience is. Definitely let me know. BTS's new comeback is arriving much closer than I could ever think. I feel like I have been waiting for 94 years and finally feel like there may be a chance we can get some new music and save the world. Not actually save the world, but being happy and having hope is something that is very powerful. I think everyone needs to have hope. And whatever musician you listen to, hopefully that artist is giving you hope. Taehyung has been working on some stuff and people feel it might have something to do with the new album and new stuff. He has been learning to play some instruments. He recently learned in the reality show In the Soup Season 2. Taehyung loves instruments. By the way, we had just finished watching the second season over on Patreon, so if you want to stream and watch it with me, go check it out, link below. But on the show, he was seen taking lessons to get better at his trumpet playing. Taehyung has talked about wanting to play some sort of woodwind instrument and had talked several times in Korean interviews that if he was not a part of BTS, he would play the saxophone or something like that, and maybe become a jazz player or something. It was seen in a previous TV show where RM was reading a letter to Taehyung and saying thank you, and basically thanked Taehyung for not going with the path of becoming a saxophone player, and thanked Taehyung for joining BTS and making it BTS. Taehyung has said numerous times in the past that BTS is not 6, BTS is not 5, but BTS is 7, and that if we don't love all the members, we do not love the group. And that is true. You can't have a boy group without one of the members. You need to appreciate all of them because all of them make up what the music is. If a member didn't need to be in the group, the label would not have put them together. It is more expensive to transport 7 people than to transport 4, and the label is not sitting doing charity work and being like, well, we can just add one more for no reason just because we want it. They add it because they believe the member will make a difference to the overall group dynamic. So the label decided that they needed every single member in BTS to make the music sound the way that it does. I'm not sure if the fandom specifically thinks this, but of course leaving a member out or anything like that is definitely seen as more controversial. If there's promotions with only 6 members or 1 member is cut out, or sometimes what will happen is they'll do a solo video with each of the BTS members individually, but then 1 member won't have a solo moment. This happens a lot. So Billboard was accused of this a little while ago. Billboard had a promotional video for Butter and they showed all the members individually and they had the members in this cool neon light thing. But apparently they never showed Taehyung's video, and so this ended up being trending everywhere and people were upset. There was of course the possibility that Billboard just forgot, but I like to give people the benefit of the doubt and say that maybe Taehyung wasn't there and they didn't have a promotional video to post. If you've ever tried to organize a shoot, like a video shoot, and try to get together 3 people, let alone 7 or more, you'd see that it is very stressful. As the more people you need for the shoot, the more schedules change and the more issues can occur. I don't know if this is what happened here, but if Taehyung had a personal issue, and of course if this was the case, Billboard isn't going to release a statement and be like, look, Taehyung has personal issues and couldn't make the promo shoot. Or maybe someone forgot to send over Taehyung's part to the social media team. There's just a lot that can happen, especially since there are so many people and parts that go into something in mainstream media getting published. It's not like just posting a selfie of you and your friends. Everything on mainstream media has to get approved by the higher ups before it goes live, including social media posts. So yes, there should theoretically be less mistakes, but because the content is being sent around and forwarded to 50 different people, mistakes will happen more. And let's say the social media team is like, oh no, only 6 members were approved to be posted. What about Taehyung? To then get Taehyung reapproved will be a whole new process, and the social media team has a deadline to post, otherwise they get fired. So they just post. They have no choice and don't have time to resubmit Taehyung and redo the approval process. But again, this is just my understanding of corporate entertainment America. But since there was this conversation seeing Taehyung play the trumpet and seeing people talk about Taehyung being a saxophone player, and even seeing that Taehyung has not appeared in a lot of the promo, there was conversation like, is this Taehyung leaving BTS? Does he have plans to fully go solo? And some hate started to go that way because Taehyung has very openly talked about BTS being 7, and it was kind of a rule that he made up for himself and the group. So if people thought he broke that, they were mad, and the Korean fans were banning and attacking him for thinking of doing something solo. But this is not the case. Taehyung is not going anywhere. There is talks of Taehyung doing a mixtape soon, and that will likely happen. But that doesn't mean he is leaving the group. And also, I don't understand the leaving group thing. Every single boy band, even when they disband, they will come back together in like a few years for a reunion anyway. So it's all good. So let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos. A link below. Thank you to this lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.